Hey, what's up, YouTube? Brett and Bordy here. Today, we're going to talk about a game that we just started playing recently and are extremely excited about, and that is Sea of Thieves. Now, Sea of Thieves is a game that probably a lot of you are familiar with. It came out on Xbox One a little bit ago as basically like this concept game of a pirate game, but a lot has changed since then. Bordy, me and you played with our buddy Taken this Saturday, and we had a blast.
Yeah, man, it was fun. I can't believe that we haven't played it until now because I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. Had a great time.
I mean, it did take some selling. Taken did have to convince us at like 3 in the morning to play the game, but it worked. We bought it, and we're having a ton of fun. So we're going to break it down. Our first impressions, we've played probably, 3 hours, 4 hours of the game so far. So keep that in mind as you're getting our review, obviously. But yeah, man, so far so good. We'll get in here and give you guys the details. All right, so first is player creation. Now, basically, I thought this was a little bit strange in the game, Bordy. You don't directly create your characters, as far as my experience goes, but you basically just have a random generator of pirates.
Yeah, which, you know what? I thought it was a little odd too, but then once I played the game, I was like, dude, this is fine. Like, it's fine. For this type of game, it's okay. This isn't really like an MMO where you're really so super worried about this intricate, in-depth, character creation, or at least it didn't bother me anyway. But this is also coming from a guy who doesn't put a ton of stock into creating characters anyway. But I thought it was fine. I thought the models were funny. They were goofy. They were all very piratey. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed clicking random, looking through the characters, seeing what was what, and I had a good laugh looking at those models. I thought it was hilarious, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I didn't realize it was random at first. I thought you had to pick between the 6 people. I thought you'd be able to like change your facial features later on. You just like picking like a base of your character and you'd edit. And so I ended up to be like maybe this 70-year-old man pirate, but that's okay. If I kill people in PvP, it'll be that more insulting to them. So Bordy, yeah. So character creation is something very interesting. Again, just you hit a random button, and basically you just keep doing that until you find the character you want, which is untraditional. But I think as far as creation goes, it's fine. And later on in the game, you will get to choose like your facial hair and face paint and everything like that. So there is some customization in game, and but generally, you will need to pick like your actual like appearance, like buff or old or whatever, before the game starts. There is a way, Bordy, just I want to mention that there is a potion you can buy with real money to change the appearance of your pirate if you entirely screw it up or it bothers you that much. I looked into it and I decided not to do it. So, all right, dude, group sizes. So this is another big thing. 2 pirates. Not pirate, Sea of Thieves. I was gonna say Pirates of the Caribbean again. I have no idea why. All right, so basically, Sea of Thieves is a group-oriented game for the most part. You can play solo, but generally, I think they want you to have crews of 2, 3, or 4, Bordy.
Yeah, this part I really liked because in a lot of these games, man, you can just group up and there's really no limit to how many people you can put in a group. And I kind of compare this to other maybe it's not really a survival game. It's kind of in its own little niche, I think. But the closest thing I think is maybe a survival game. And in a lot of those games, you can just group. And so large groups are a problem, especially whenever it comes to PvP. In this game, that doesn't really seem to be the issue because the max group size is 4, which is awesome, dude. I love that part of it. We got in several small scale battles as we were playing, dude, and it was a ton of fun, man. You don't feel overwhelmed because there's not just a ton of people that are fighting you. The fights felt fair. They felt fun. I really like the fact that group sizes are capped at 4 and you can't just cruise around on this enormous ship with 30 people on it.
I agree 100%. And a lot of these games, that are what you're talking about, like survival games, do suffer from that exact thing, which is basically the game is fun and it feels good when you're like solo or playing with your buddy. But then when you get to the end of the game and you get to kind of progress to the in-game content, it's always kind of ruled by like larger groups or larger zergs, like you're speaking of. So I do like that they're limited to 4. It is kind of a sharded server type of situation, so not everybody playing the game is on that one server. It does make the sea or the particular shard you're on feel larger. But dude, we played for what, 3 or 4 hours, and we got into one PvP fight and then one of the NPC like skeleton crew pirate fights, and both of them were extremely fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed it a lot.
So basically, and this is interesting, and I think hard to maybe swallow at times during the game. There is no progression. So basically, the only side or the only type of progression in Sea of Thieves is being rich, or like pimping out your ship, or pimping out your pirate, cosmetics, and then also just getting rich financially, Bordy. So, this is something that at first kind of bothered me. It does feel like as you're killing mobs and skeletons or doing quests that you should be like getting some sort of XP or progression. But as I played the game and kind of realized, what the game is, I think it's okay. There is no like, people rushing to the end game and then becoming more powerful than you. So you just go right into PvP on the same level as everybody else. And, you're just kind of having fun as a pirate and looting and stealing and getting rich, man. So what do you think about the progression system or the quest system inside of the game?
So at first, I'm in the same boat as you, man, to be perfectly honest. At first, I thought it was incredibly weird because the first island we went to and we started killing these skeletons, I asked a question. I was like, dude, what are we doing? Like, why are we killing these skeletons? We're not getting anything from killing these skeletons. And the answer was, well, we're just killing them because we have to go get X, Y, Z, or we have to do it to finish this quest. We have to kill a certain skeleton or go loot a certain thing. And I was like, okay. So at first, I had a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth because I was like, man, I want to like at least level up, or I want to get something for like killing all these mobs. But then I'm in the same boat as you, man. As soon as we kind of figured out exactly what the game was and how the game played, and it took probably an hour into the game, I guess, to really figure out like, okay, this is the core gameplay loop. And once we figured out the core gameplay loop, I feel like that changed, and that didn't bother me anymore because we were basically at end game. Everybody's at end game all the time. Everybody's on a level playing field, and you don't progress by killing stuff. You progress by just going and getting the loot and taking it back to the outpost, and that's how you progress in the game. And so I thought it was fine afterwards. I wouldn't mind a little bit more depth, some kind of leveling up system or something might not be bad. But then again, I don't know if that work in this game, because then as you're PvPing, there would be some unfair fights, I think.
Yeah, and it's very interesting take on these sort of games, Border, because one of the main things that, especially in PvP or a PvP-oriented game like this is, surprisingly, there is that problem with, new players and bringing them in at an uneven playing field. And do you like completely cap PvP? Do you make sure that only, high-level people can play it, or do you, create different levels of PvP that you can participate in? And this game doesn't have that problem. It's actually really nice. It doesn't have the zerging problem, and it doesn't have like the level gap problem. It's dealing with it well. Me and you, the one actual PvP experience we kind of went into, we had a blast, man. It was a ton of fun. I guess we could tell the story here. It's pretty quick. We got into a fight with another 3-man crew, me, Bordy, and Taken. And it ended with both of our ships being destroyed and none of us getting any loot. It was hilarious, but extremely fun, man. It was a blast.
Yeah, I agree. I had a whole lot of fun during that one encounter we had, and I can't wait to play it some more to get into some more of those PvP matches. It's a ton of fun.
For sure. All right, so the last thing I want to bet, and we kind of hinted at this earlier on the video, the end game of Pirates of the Caribbean, as far as it looks right now, is fashion.
No. Sea of Thieves, bro.
Yeah. Sea of Thieves. I keep talking about a Walt Disney or Disney World ride. What the heck? All right, Sea of Thieves. My gosh, is end game, dude. Fashion. Which, I mean, if we're being completely honest, is the end game of a lot of MMOs. If we're, it just kind of skips the step, and you're basically, like Bordy said, you're at the end game the whole game, and now you just get to worry about fashion.
Yeah, pretty much. The game is very interesting because it just basically skips you to end game. So you think about a survival game or an MMO or any of these other games where you have to progress on up to end game, and then you're at end game, then you start the PvP and all. You don't do that. In Sea of Thieves, you're there. You start there, and that's the entire game. And the entire point is to, I think, just get loot and look better. Get your ship looking better. Get your cannons with skins on them. Get your character model looking better with different pirate clothes, pirate outfits. And I think it's fine, dude. I love in-game fashion. Like, like Warframe is a prime example of that. That's one of the games where in-game is fashion. It's fashion frame once you make it to the end game in that game. And so you're already there in Sea of Thieves. And it's cool, man. There's a lot of options to choose from. And that's the cool thing. Tons of skins, tons of things you can do, tons of things you can acquire. I like it, man. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, and I will mention, because we're not too far into the game, it does have like a faction system. So as you level up your standings in those factions, eventually I think at the end game you will choose one that you kind of rep and progress their influence or whatever of that faction. But we haven't gotten to that point yet. So maybe we'll do a second follow-up video if we do get to that point on the faction system and how that kind of works. But as far as our first impressions go, I mean, it's very positive in my mind. I never knew I would like a game like this. I love PvP, and it kind of worried me at first that the game really had no true progression or no, I hate to say a point, like we're playing video games. I mean, a lot of the games are for fun, and this game is a ton of fun. And dude, the PvP is surprisingly good because, again, you don't have zerging problems and you don't have level gap problems. So, Bordy,
yeah.
Overall,
and the overall gameplay felt really good too. You know, the aiming, the shooting, the fighting, the combat, it was very smooth. Everything felt smooth. I think the game looks really good too, graphically and art style wise. It's really good, and just it was smooth. I had a very smooth experience while PvPing or fighting in general. It's nice. Yes,
and that is a great point. Just to add on to the tail end of this, the art style and overall gameplay, the performance of the game are all top notch. A very, I think, AAA game is what you would expect from something like this, and they deliver, man. I didn't have any performance problems. The world kind of swallows you up, man. Even the ocean in this kind of like cartoony type pirate field just feels so real and alive, and they do an amazing job at that as well. All right.
Yeah, I thought so, man. I don't have really anything negative to say. A lot of times when we do these types of videos, we have something negative to talk about or something negative to push on for a little bit. As of now, I really don't have anything, man. I thoroughly enjoyed my experience in Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, same. All right, guys. Well, that's it. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. We'd love to answer them for you. We're going to keep playing this and streaming this this week and beyond because we're having a ton of fun. So if we'll give you guys an update video later on, if that's what you want, let us know as well in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscription button, the notification bell for more videos like this. And Bordy, we'll see you guys next time.